No be juju
The African Mythology Podcast you never knew you needed.
vibes.
Each episode will recount tales of mind blowing mythological figures and analyze their stories and characters, searching for parallels between the diverse African pantheons as well as popular culture on the continent and beyond. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Hear the stories that reflect the way we were and who we are. Subscribe to Nobi Juju, the African Mythology Podcast you never knew you needed.
It's alright, so please, no be sure.
Hi. Hello. Hello again.
Hello.
We really need to think of something more you know, maybe a little. I mean, we have our intro song, I
We
guess.
have
So
an intro
so
song.
I guess we don't really have to have another,
Because then we're
another
just
thing.
intro for
Well,
like
intro,
five
yeah.
minutes. They'll be
So
like,
this is fine. It's fine. So
yeah.
hi guys. Hope you're having
Hello.
a good day, week, month, whatever time of what. Well, I mean, obviously, whenever you are listening to this. So
Hello, guys. Yes, yes, we were so happy to have you back. And yeah, we're kind of on a roll. I'm proud of us. We're moving and we're
mm,
encouraged by all of your engagement, your comments, and all of that. And we're really excited to continue the momentum
yeah.
and share more of these incredible myths, legends, folk tales, and stories.
Yes, we're listening to that one Apple podcast commenter that we only very recently saw that
Oh my
says
god.
we need more. So you
We
know
need
what?
more.
We're here. We're here
We are
giving you
here.
more.
We are here
Wherever you
actually
are
giving you
out
guys
there in the
more.
universe, we're back.
We are
So
actually back. And we thank you to that person that left that comment, because thank you to everybody that's engaged, because that's what keeps us going and that's what lets us know, okay, this is resonating, and this is these stories are the people want to hear them, and people want to learn, and people want to explore. So yeah, it's awesome to hear from you guys always.
yeah, it is also very important to us to hear your thoughts. So we can learn, innovate, and yeah, get ideas for future episodes. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, then let us know as well. And obviously, any media, we love our media and things. So anything that you think you found interesting recently that you think we could talk about, then let us know as well. We're always open to ideas.
Drop us a message, drop us a comment. We
Just a
always
comment.
open. All right. It's that time of the episode.
Vibe of the week time. Play. Cue the
Yes.
jingle.
Vibe of the week.
Okay, it's cute.
It is cute.
Post
It
production
is.
magic. Uh,
Yeah.
so my vibe of the week is I just keep embarrassing myself. Anyway, it's fine. My vibe of the week is "Things Fall Apart" by Chinua Achebe. I have to whisper it
You
because
know,
I'm
but
actually
that's
very
not
ashamed. I'm
embarrassing.
very
That's not
ashamed. No, I'm
embarrassing.
ashamed that I just read it now. That's why
Okay.
I'm ashamed.
I mean, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
No,
China would
no.
be happy. Please tell us about Things Fall Apart.
Yeah.
'Cause for people who have never heard about it, I mean, it's an amazing vibe.
Yeah. So it's a classic, not basically classic. It's
It's a
a
classic.
classic. It's
It
an
is the
African classic, worldwide
yeah,
classic. Not even North
yeah,
African, just worldwide,
yes,
international classic.
yes, yes.
By the amazing writer Chinua Achebe. And basically the rough synopsis is, I don't know how much to give without. I mean, it's not really spoilery. So if I don't think it's very spoilery, to be honest,
Mm-mm.
to say what it's about, but it just follows this very dynamic man,
Yep.
basically named Okonkwo,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically set in like a village in Igbo land.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember exactly. Um, I mean, I think there probably weren't states at that time. That it was set in. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Eastern part of
basically in
Nigeria.
the eastern part of Nigeria, Igbo land, and it's basically talks about different experiences that he's had, his upbringing, what's made him into the man he is now, and then it's a lot of sort of village politics, things like that, uh, and then at some point, then we have some English missionaries come into the villages, and then we see what effects that has on the villagers, and then some more things unfold from there. But yeah, I think it was amazing. Like it was
It's
such
incredible.
a good book, such a good book. Like
No.
not even good book, great book. Like like I was like, why did it take me so long to read this? Um,
It's another
it's
level.
yeah,
It's
it's
another
literally
level.
another level. Like the fact
It's
that
history.
even now, like yeah,
Mm.
it's history. It's history. It's
Mm.
basically like cataloging a moment in history,
Mm.
and and it's told in such like you really feel like you're part of the village. Like you
Mm.
just it really embeds you in what it was like to live in that era and in that particular circumstance, um and you feel what Okonkwo feels, at you know yeah. So I think in particular, um, I found the ending was very chilling, because then you get sort of the perspective of one of the English commanders, or basically colonizers,
Mm.
as the ending conclusion of the story. And all this while we've basically gotten the point of view of you know the villagers on Igbo land and everything,
Yeah.
and mostly them, and then at the end you get this point of view of this one of the army people. I can't remember his official title,
Yes.
but it talks about how he's going to write a book or a few books about his travels and his experiences there. And there's a part of him mentioning how he's going to leave certain things out, or kind of twist the truth in a way,
Hmm.
um to kind of fit his own narrative.
Hmm.
And I think it just really hits me that, yeah, like it's really important who tells a story.
Oh,
It's not only what like the story's about, but also who tells the story
oh,
is very
that's so
important.
deep. That's so
Um,
deep.
because yeah,
Oh,
e- everybody's always who like I feel like naturally when you are writing something or doing like you're always going to serve your own interests, even subconsciously, as much as you try to be unbiased, especially if it's quote unquote a creative endeavor or whatever. You always try to you know give your own narrative
perspective and
or
narrative
perspective and things
experience.
like that, and it's very very important who that perspective comes from. um so yeah, I think that part I was just like, wow, this is and the book just transcends time. Like it's still important today, the things that were spoken about in the book and everything. And one thing I like about it, like uh, he didn't, Chinua didn't. There were some things that obviously, you know, not obviously, if you don't remember it, you don't know, but there were things in the book that was like, oh my god, I can't believe that they did that, or they just did that, or
Hmm. Hmm.
but I like the how he didn't sugarcoat it.
Mm-mm.
Like he didn't try to hide it. He didn't try like this is what it was like. This is what people did, and it was just because that's the way they lived. and
Yeah.
we never got to see how that would have evolved and how that would have changed over time. So unfortunately, no, unfortunately, but you know, we are our cultural history is kind of like there's like a abrupt, not abrupt stop, but a bit of a stop from our natural evolution because of colonization.
Honestly,
Oh,
girl,
yeah.
honestly, girl, that's honestly one of that's the most incredible vibe that you've ever given. Because even when I think about Things Fall Apart, I first read Things Fall Apart when I was 11. Then I read it again. I think again, like maybe like 7 6 7 years ago. And each
Mm,
time I've read it probably like 3 times or so. But each time you discover more. And the greatest books, each
yeah.
time you read it, you learn more, you draw more from it. Each time I'm left deeply impacted by it, deeply unsettled, and deeply reflective as well. Because Chinua was just writing history. He was telling history. He said, "This is what happened." He was sharing, the history. But then he wasn't only sharing the history, but it was interesting because he was also reflecting the present of that time. You could tell the
Mm-hmm.
voice was a more contemporary voice than what the book was trying to portray. And there seemed to be, just like what you said, there was almost that epilogue at the end, coming
Mm-hmm.
from a different completely different perspective, which shows the other side, the
Yeah.
past, the present, and the future, showing the future, and which is our present right now, but the future, where a lot of those stories have been lost. The stories are being told by people who may not have had the direct experience of the culture,
Mm-hmm.
or appreciation or the connection to it. Um and as a result of that loss of history, as a
Yeah.
result of that loss of culture, there's a huge gap in terms of people's identity. I think we are struggling, especially in Nigeria. We are struggling as a nation in terms of cultural identity. So much has been lost. There are people doing the work to try and reclaim these identities, to try and reclaim some of the lost knowledge, but honestly, it's lost. It's
Mm-hmm.
been lost. The incredible thing with Things Fall Apart and Chinua Achebe is the story continues. It has a sequel, No Longer at Ease. So
Yeah, I need to read that.
I'll
Yeah.
really strongly advise to read that one, because that one was just, I was heartbroken, man. I
Mm,
was heartbroken because that was set in like the 60s. But even then, you could see that how that loss of
yeah.
like identity, like, oh my gosh,
No.
you
Like
could
I'm just
see that.
saying, like even Okonkwo during the story, like you just see, like he was a very, I mean, he was a prideful man till the end. Like
Yeah.
and just seeing his heartbreak at
Oh my
like
gosh.
the descent in the village's integrity and how the village had been broken down, and it. I think yeah, you felt you were going through that heartbreak process with him and how he felt. And yeah, he's not a one. If you read it, like he's not a perfect character. He's
Not
not
at
like
all.
he's not at all.
Yeah.
Which even makes it even more interesting. 'Cause I think
Yeah.
we don't always need the perfectly moral character,
Yes.
but he was a real person. Like he felt like a real person,
Yeah.
and you were going through this journey with him. And I won't spoil what happens, but it's really heartbreaking, what happens towards the end. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, girl, you just dropped that in there. I was not
Star,
expecting
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know it's a
I
different
was not
different different
expecting
different vibe, different
that.
vibe,
Oh my
different
god,
vibe.
that's
So
heavy. That's
next
heavy.
time
Anytime
I'm
I
gonna
think
be back
about
to my animation. So anime.
anytime I think
But yeah.
honestly, anytime I think about Things Fall Apart, it's just like it's always grounds me. It's such a grounding
Hmm.
book.
It
because it
is.
just brings you back to reality of the present. There's some
Yeah.
realities that, because we're also busy with our lives and commitments and different things that happen, we forget sometimes. We forget, we lose sight of the big picture of like, what came before us, where are we heading,
Mm,
where are we now. We lose sight of that. But Things Fall Apart is one of those books where you're really, it really grounds you to really face the reality, to really smell the roses, wake up and smell the roses, and understand your place in the world, and understand where the gaps are, and understand what needs to
mm-hmm.
be done to fill those gaps. So I mean, uh incredible. Yeah, we encourage everybody to read that book, and No Longer at Ease as well. Such incredible, like, that is the African novel,
Yep.
it is
Yep.
the African novel. So it's like yeah, incredible. So awesome. I mean, I cannot follow that.
I'm
Anything I
sorry.
say after that is gonna look like a joke. It's gonna look like a joke. It's gonna look like a play. It's gonna look like an unserious
Sorry. It was
endeavor.
a very, maybe it's a less vibey vibe of the week. Sorry, it's not very vibey.
Okay.
But
No, 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 no.
it's
Oh,
fine.
it's a vibe though. That's a vibe. That's a
It's a
vibe.
vibe. It's
The
still a vibe.
serious
Still a
vibes.
vibe.
Serious vibes are still vibes. Serious vibes are still vibes. We have all kinds of vibes. That's the point of a
Oh
vibe.
God.
A vibe is a
Yeah.
vibe is a vibe. Okay. Um, so my vibe of the week, would there's been a few different things I've been like watching and listening to, but I would say my vibe of the week is Oshinoko season 3.
Oh,
Oshinoko,
yeah,
which
I haven't
was
started that.
a
Yeah.
it was your vibe like some episodes ago. You were the one that introduced me to this show.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been watching season 3, and honestly, it's so great. What I love about a lot of you see this across a lot of animes, like the depth in which they go into, if they're talking about a certain industry or a certain career, they will teach you every single thing you need to know about that
Yep.
industry,
Yep.
to the point where even if you are working in that industry, you're like, to be honest, it's true. Why do we?
Yeah.
Oh, that. Oh,
Yeah.
you'll be like learning things, from it. And so it's really, for me, Yoshinoka has been really, really interesting, as someone who has always loved film, theater, music, and really always been fascinated by those industries, both in terms of the end products, in terms of how those stories come to life, and those products, and the art comes to life, and the artist's journey as well. So yeah, season 3 has been really good. Really good balance of education and information in terms of how industries operate, particularly with the Japanese, from the Japanese perspective. um and then also there's this psychological kind of thriller aspect that's
Mm.
very similar to, there's this movie. Oh my god, I've forgotten the name of the movie. Something blue. Something blue.
What
Uh,
what's the genre? What's the
it's a psychological thriller. Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue. Perfect
Perfect
Blue.
Blue?
Honestly, it was quite disturbing, girl. But I strongly recommend it. It's a psychological thriller about following a girl, a pop idol.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, yeah. It's an
I haven't
incredible
watched it, but
movie.
I've seen people talk about it. Yeah.
I think it's been a huge influence for many directors and many creators from all around the world. And I think there's some things I saw with the Ocean this season 3. I'm like, oh, this is giving some light, not as, because Perfect Blue is dark, it's very dark, but not as dark as that, but it's giving kind of Perfect Blue vibes. So yeah, the season 3 has been really, really good, very thought provoking. Yeah, I've been learning a lot. And yeah, the really good balance of like the drama, but then also like trying to leave viewers with like something new, some new insights. So yeah,
Mm.
good one.
I really need to get back on it. I stalled in season 2. I need to get back on it. But yeah, guys, the first episode is my scary. It's like 1 hour something. But honestly,
Yeah,
I didn't even feel that time go by. It
that's
was
it.
yeah,
It was really,
crazy
really good, really engaging.
how good it was, and yeah, it was needed. That's what that long first episode was needed to set the context for the entire story. So, yeah, definitely would strongly recommend.
Yeah, season three also. There's some. Oh, sorry. Please, please. Sorry. Please go on.
I thought the intro songs are good. The intro songs,
Oh
you
yeah,
can have
they're
a
so
little bop.
good. Oh my
You know,
gosh. Is you can't actually reach status of like I don't know how they animes how do they always manage to have like such good intro songs like I think as much attention is paid to the story as to the
yeah.
music, and honestly it's incredible because I feel that's really what drives a really good story home. um I was just going to say with the with Oshinoko season 3, they really explore a lot of existential themes,
Mm,
very thought provoking, which you tend to see across different animes and
mm,
Japanese kind of art and films, but
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very good.
Recommend, strongly recommend. Yeah, vibes. We had guys serious vibes though.
Ah,
It ended up turning very serious.
it
You
did, it
know,
did, it
it's
did.
fine. But he said a
I
serious
think
vibe is still a vibe.
a serious vibe is still a vibe. I think sometimes, life lives. And
Yeah,
when life lives, you just feel a little bit more like, okay, the vibes will may reflect that. But they're still vibes.
there's
They're
still
still
vibes. There's
vibes.
still vibes. So let us get onto the episode. Is there? Do we have a sound for this? No, we don't.
We will have a sound.
Woo! So, so yeah, we are exploring the Orisha Ogun today, and it is part of the next few batch of Lara Croft episodes that Ogun is one of the. Well, he's not really a character. I don't want to spoil it. Well, it kind of is, but kind of not as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
in one of the scenes, basically Ogun's mask is found and it's broken in pieces, and it was basically um, Ogun sacrificing himself to prevent Mila from taking his mask, which is quite sad, very
Yeah, it's
sad.
very sad.
Before we
Very
even met
sad.
him, he kind of yeah. Sorry, I just spoiled it. Sorry, I just spoiled
Yep.
it.
Oh
But
yeah. Yep.
oops. But you
Well,
should have watched it. We warned you last
we
episode,
did tell you guys.
and
We did tell you.
you should have watched it by now. Anyway, yes. So I think this already, is a good, intro into Ogun's character, and then we'll talk a bit more. We've already spoken about him. We did a little dip with the Castlevania episode
We
into Ogun,
have. We
but this
did.
episode is spotlighting him completely. So
Again. Because
again,
I think he's a very cool, yeah, Orisha. He's very cool. He's got a lot that he's got going for him. So I'll just get us started. So Ogun is the Yoruba Orisha. Is the Yoruba Orisha. He's the god of war, iron, technology, resistance, and civilization. And I think what makes him so fascinating is that you think, okay, god of war, you think, Greek god, Ares, it's not just about destruction, it's about building, it's about invention, it's about survival and resilience and like hard work. And actually, the deeper you go into Yoruba cosmology and the African diaspora, you realize that Ogun is not just this mythological figure, but he's actually a way of understanding struggle, discipline, power, justice, and even freedom. Understanding how all of these things,
mm,
yeah, are important to have, in day to day life. And, we've always said with the No Be Juju podcast, it's not just about spotlighting these uh, or mythological figures or orishas or legends or folk tales. It's about drawing parallels with
Mm.
everyday life and learning any lessons that we can from their characteristics, their stories. So, who is Ogun? He's one of the most powerful and revered orishas in the Yoruba religion and its diasporic traditions like Santeria and Candomblé. He is the master of iron and fire, a fierce warrior, a protector of truth and justice, and a patron of those who forge, cut, heal, or build with metal. His energy is often described as raw and unstoppable because he often like would clear paths and remove obstacles. So he's quite good at like problem solving. But he does that not just for like for self. He does that to serve others and to defend those under his care. As said, it's not just about, war, violence, but it's about transformation. It's about bringing something from nothing. It's about, in, tech, they will say it's about going from zero to one building. He represents
Yeah,
transformation, but
yeah.
obviously through force. Yeah. So for Ogun, some of the elements that he uses, he's the god of like iron. That was a very big tool that he used to like reshape the world and civilization. And so yeah, he's very much into uh innovation as well. So he's one of the oldest
Mm.
orishas and is called Oshin Imole, which means one of the first primordial orishas to come to earth. And so obviously Ladi's going to go more deeply into like the stories, but the legends say that he descended to prepare the world for human life, shaping civilizations with his tools of iron. And so the path from heaven, which is known as Orun in Yoruba culture, to Aye, the earth, was actually cleared through Ogun's labor and his
Mm.
gifts and his tools and his talents. He helped to build the roads, creating cities, homes, and opening pathways for knowledge and understanding for both humans and the Orishas alike. So then when we think about Ogun, he's also he's this transformative force. He's an innovator, but he also creates. We said zero to one. He creates structure from chaos.
Mm.
So I feel like he's very much like builder vibes, very much like an architect's vibes, a designer vibes, and very much somebody that, yeah, someone that changes like what the world looks like. That really, when you think about Lagos, you think about um Nigeria and Lagos. There's a lot of industries in Lagos, Nigeria, that there's a lot of information innovation happening, a lot of transformation happening, whether it's in
Mm.
the field of tech, whether it's in art, whether it's in music. There's a lot of disruptors doing things to shape better systems and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that culture, a lot of that it's kind of rooted in this practice, and rooted in these principles from that Ogun represents.
Mhm. So Ogun will be a tech bro. That
Pretty
is,
much. Pretty much is what I'm trying to say. He
but
would be
a
a
tech
tech
bro
bro.
for good, a force
Tech
of
bro for
good.
good, a force for good. So tech for good, that is Ogun. That is Ogun in modern day, yeah, terms. So he's the divine patron of blacksmiths, butchers, surgeons, mechanics, engineers, hunters, and all that work with blades or iron tools. Because when you think about technology, just a tool,
Yeah,
and it's about wielding the tool to solve problems. And all of these careers, blacksmiths, butchers, surgeons, mechanics, they all are like skilled trades where you have to learn how to do things with your hands, you have to learn how to build things, or you learn how to using your practice to fix
yeah,
things.
and it takes practice, and it's something that is honed over time. you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and even when you think about tech, we just said Ogun is tech for good because tech is a tool. It's a tool that can build,
Mm.
it's a tool that can heal, tech, but it can also destroy. And that's the same with iron and many of the other elements that Ogun and tools that are representative of him. A knife can kill someone or it can be used to save someone during surgery. We've said technology can liberate people or it can oppress people, it can stifle. War can defend people or it can completely annihilate people. And so Ogun represents a lot of that tension and duality. His nature mirrors the strength of metal itself. So metal is unyielding, it's steady, it's direct, it's incorruptible. And in Yoruba courts, actually, apparently, truth is sworn upon a sacred machete that's dedicated to Ogun, which underscores his authority as, a god of justice that's very unyielding, direct, and incorruptible, very steady. And so with Ogun, there's this whole emphasis on doing the right thing for the greater good. Justice, fairness, equality in a society, those are all really important to be able to achieve that. So, in terms of his appearance, traditionally, Ogun is depicted as tall, muscular, often wearing a raffia skirt. His skin is painted black, representing his connection to iron. He carries machetes, hammers, bows and arrows, and other tools of labor and war. His colors are red, black, and green, which these are all symbols of vitality, strength, and protection. And in some regions like Bahia in and Rio de Janeiro in South America, he's associated with the marine blue. I really like that color.
Oh,
I love that color,
marine blue.
marine blue. His sacred number is seven, which carries a deep spiritual significance in Yoruba traditions. I'm not sure actually why seven
I don't
carries.
know either.
If anyone knows, let us know. Thank you. Okay, moving
Okay.
on. So yeah, we've talked about a little bit of his sacred tools. So we talked about the machete, which helps to clear paths and obstacles. He also uses rakes, which smooth rough terrain within the self. He uses hoes, which helps to cultivate growth, harvesting, crops and things and potential. He uses picks to break hardened challenges. These tools are traditionally kept together in a ritual cauldron representing the unity of his powers because every one of the tools, he also uses an anvil as well, which represents transformation. So every one of these tools do certain things and together they're like collectively stronger. Ogun also represents resistance. Remember at the beginning I said he's god of resistance. And I think that is maybe why, he was the character in, Castlevania Nocturne. Annette, who was like the character that really had this really close relationship and was wielding those powers of Ogun. She was like a freedom fighter and she was very much in the resistance during the Haitian Revolution in African and African American history and South American history, Ogun represents courage against oppression, resilience, endurance, and liberation. And as we said, his tools, the machete, the hammer, they're weapons, but they're also tools for building a future. And a lot of movements throughout history for justice and liberation have actually invoked Ogun spirits to inspire strength, determination, and unity. This was so powerful during the transatlantic slave trade because in the Americas, there are a lot of enslaved um, Africans who were forced to hide their spiritual traditions, their cultural identities. Lade's amazing vibe of the week. Ogun for these Africans became as a way to preserve their traditions, Ogun actually became syncretized with Catholic saints like Saint George, Saint James, Saint Peter, Saint Sebastian, and Saint Anthony. And this is something we also see in Tomb Raider Lara Croft, season 2, where there's a scene where um the I think the characters entered a church, and at surface level you think it's like just like a traditional Catholic church, but like behind the church you can see these different orishas.
Yeah.
And this is these are real. The that that kind of story arc, or that plot point in this series is reflective of real history and real culture. um and this allowed the stories and the strength that people drew from, specifically with regards to Ogun, to live on. They kept him hidden in their hearts like a treasure. As they were warring for like their survival and their freedom, that provided them with a source of strength, and resilience. And actually Ogun exists across many Yoruba traditions. He has different names. So in Yoruba tradition, obviously he's known as Ogun, Ogun.
Mm.
Then in the Fawn tradition, he's known as Gu. In Cuban Santeria, he's known as Ogun, Oggun. Brazilian Condomble, he's known as Ogum with M.
Mm.
Haitian Vodou, he's known as Ogu, because everyone needs someone to fight for them. Everyone needs a warrior. Everyone needs something to
Yeah.
believe in that keeps them going. And so Ogun has really been that across African diaspora for centuries. So yeah, we've already talked about Ogun's relevance, in terms of the historical context, in terms of the resistance. He's not just history and ancient mythology. We've talked about his relevance to science and innovation and modern warfare. And we've also spoken a little bit about his duality. So clearly, someone who believes in fighting for others, using knowledge and technology to fight for others and to make the world a better place. That's someone that is protective. That's someone that is loyal. That's someone that's loving. But that's also someone that's inventive. But
Yeah.
when you think about war, you think about, destruction, bloodthirst, violence. And so that duality is quite central to understanding him. And it feeds into how we think about power, because someone who, wields that much knowledge, that much strength, is someone that's clearly very powerful. The story of Ogun and his characteristics, it's for me, reading through it and learning about him and seeing the depictions in different media, it shows me like power itself is a neutral thing. It can go
Mm.
in different directions, but it depends on, like, how disciplined are you? What are your values? What is your intention? What is your agenda? Yorubas of medieval Africa understood power and leadership through these principles, and they felt like, a righteous leader, is someone that identifies themselves with the people, someone that is willing to even die for the well-being of society. And again, spoiler alert, this happened. This happened in Tomb Raider: Legend of Lara Croft season 2, where, rather than, like, literally Ogun was not on the screen. He was not on the screen for more
Nope.
than like 5 minutes. He didn't even participate, really, to be very honest. He was like, they wanted to take something that belonged to him, that was like core to his very being. And he was like, I'd rather die than give this to you, because it's going to put a lot of people in
Yeah. In danger.
danger. So that's leadership. That is what it means to be a
You understand that
warrior.
power in the wrong hands is
Yeah,
a dangerous thing.
exactly. Um, yeah. So people associated with Ogun are often described as brave, determined, hardworking, and honest. But they can also be, violent, unforgiving, and intense. Ogun favors warriors, scientists, builders, and innovators. And his feast days are apparently April 23rd and June 29th.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. But in addition to iron and also fire, Ogun holds dominion over the forest. And actually, some traditions view him as a wild man of the woods. So a lot of shrines to Ogun are actually often located outdoors, um, behind near the trees, behind the front door of homes, because he's always kind of like near the threshold. He's always seen as like a warrior, a protector. When you think about battle, the warriors are that line between the empire, the nation that they are called to protect, and the enemies or the opponents that they are facing. So he stands at that middle point. So I think, like, my research on Ogun, and my understanding of his character is that he ultimately represents survival through force, labor, intelligence, and resilience. Struggle not just for struggle's sake, but in the pursuit of freedom. He more kind of he doesn't he's a god of war, but he believes war is more of like a last resort.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's more of
And a
a tool
tool.
to
Yeah.
liberate those that are more vulnerable and oppressed. Um
Rather
and
than
that's
war
where
for war's sake or war for his own
exactly,
personal gain.
exactly, and that's where the innovation also comes in, because that also helps to um it ensures that the war doesn't go on for like long periods of time and more lives are not lost. Because even when you look at history, not just African history, but history in general, world history, a lot of what helped, when we're thinking about World War I, World War II especially, it was innovation, technology that brought these wars to an end. Some of them brought more destruction and harm when you think about, atomic bombs and things like that. Some of these wars, some of the African wars, during the colonial period, people had guns, over, and that was the advantage they had, and it brought the wars to a swift end. So technology is always something that can be used to, if wielded correctly, it can be used for good. But Ogun believes it should only be used, like war should only really come, I think, as a last resort, and always for the betterment of people, which is a good principle to live by. And it's why I think I was saying to Laddie, like, I feel he's a really good one to for us to speak about. We've done an episode on him before, but I think it's worth kind of going over it again, particularly in the times that we live in
Mm.
currently. So much war and destruction going on all over the world. It's
Then
just
you
like
look at it and it's like, oh,
yeah,
for what
yeah.
purpose is this
For what
for?
purpose? And is this actually bringing benefit to people? Is this helping people, or is it just agendas? Is it just so I think it's something definitely for a lot of us can reflect on and learn from. Yeah, so that's him.
Yeah, that is so. Yeah, he's an amazing Orisha, an amazing example. Um, and principles that he lives by. Yeah, very honorable, very honorable. Um, but now we're going into a few of the stories that are told about Ogun. And I would like to give credit to Original Botanica for these stories. I
Good.
actually did find it difficult to find a few, to find more stories. So if you guys have any other resources as well, let us know. Because yeah, a lot of these, like I said, oral tradition, a lot of these things, you know, we'll never know all the stories, but we'll this is our way of continuing the oral tradition, and now recording the oral tradition as well, so it can be passed on.
Yes, exactly.
So going into Ogun and the Stolen Son, which is the first story. So basically it says long ago the people woke up to basically darkness. So the world was completely plunged into darkness. There was no sun in the sky, which is actually terrifying, like very, very terrifying. Um, so obviously everybody was afraid, and because the sun is needed for lots of things, for the earth, agriculture, crops, just everyday life anyway. And the Orishas gathered, and Ogun is the one that stepped forward, and
Mhm.
he promised to find and restore the light. He went deep into the forest. It wasn't, the easiest time. The air was really thick. The ground was full of roots. And, when he was along the way, he saw a giant bird, and the bird sort of blocked his path, and its wings cast shadows like storm clouds. Then the
Mm.
bird attacked Ogun, and Ogun's machete, or machete, as they call it where I'm from, flashed into blue. It's only here that I
Imagine.
started hearing, but I was like, machete, machete. And sorry, sorry, and
No,
and with
no.
and with strength in the iron itself, he defeated it. And then he pressed on to see what the bird was blocking his path from, and discovered that the culprits were mischievous spirits who had stolen the sun and hidden it in a woven basket. And with his prowess in battle, he drove them away, and he freed the sun and put it back in the sky. And to this day, the story is told as a reminder that Ogun clears even the darkest paths. So it's similar. You mentioned it as well. He's kind of like he finds he finds ways. He's kind of like a pathfinder. He breaks through adversity and things like that. So yeah, very honorable.
Yes.
The the next story, don't everybody's we're all fallible. So the next story maybe might not paint, but it ends well. I think it still shows his character. So the next story is about Ogun and the palm wine tapper. You
We love it.
know,
We love a good palm wine
love it. We love that.
tapper
We'll love it. We love it. I
situation.
mean, sorry, we're not alcoholics. Sorry, we
We're
don't
not.
actually love,
We're not at all,
but
actually.
at all, actually, yeah. But yeah, palm wine very important
It is.
in the culture. Very important in the culture. Have you
Culture.
ever tried it before? Side note.
I think I have. I think I have. I think I have. It doesn't it
Hmm.
taste like a milk
It kind of tastes a bit starchy. I
starchy,
tried
yeah,
it once.
starchy.
Yeah, I was actually very
Yeah.
surprised. I thought it would be really, really sweet. I don't know why, but yeah, it's kind of
It's
like
yeah.
starchy
I don't
wine.
understand people who are liking that thing. I
Yeah,
don't
it was
understand it.
quite. I thought it would be really sweet, but well,
It tastes like coconut water.
yes, yes, that's true. Alcoholic coconut water. That's actually a good way
Actually, I might not
to
have tried it.
describe
Maybe I'm thinking of coconut water. Maybe I'm thinking of coconut water.
it. Okay, we'll just move on. We'll just move on. So in this story, Ogun encounters a palm wine tapper who's trapped, in a palm tree, by a spirit. The man calls for help, and Ogun, he's always there when everybody needs help. Always a protector, comes to save him, and in his gratitude, the tapper offered Ogun fresh palm wine, and Ogun was like, "Wow, this slaps." So he drank
Ooh.
it, deeply, and it was very strong and intoxicating. And
Ooh.
soon his mighty energy turned into an uncontrollable fury. So not that Ogun is an angry drunk. Yeah. So he roared, swung his machete, and cut down anything in his path. And the villagers, obviously, they were scared. They were like, "Oh my god, please stop!"
Oh my
So,
god.
oh my god, oh my god. This is scary. And just say Ogun was, he then realized, oh, actually, I think I've gone too far, and he was very ashamed. And then he went to the other Orishas who worked to sort of cleanse him of the drunken rage clouding his spirit. And the lesson of that was, even a strong warrior must guard against losing control, for unchecked power can harm as much as it protects. And again, that is, oh, exactly. Hello?
I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Okay. It was still recording.
Yes.
We have to splice some things together.
Okay, that's okay.
That's fine.
Sorry for your
Uh,
interruption.
oh, no, no, it's fine, it's fine.
I think my internet
Um,
just disconnected.
oh, great. That's very reassuring. let's, let's just let's just try and do this.
Let's just continue.
Yeah.
Let's just
Where
continue.
where did you hear last?
Um, I think it was him just being like a horrible drunk.
Oh, okay. Mhm. Okay, I'm trying to see where to start again. All right. Anyway, so he obviously an angry drunk, and then villagers were scared, and he then realized the error of his ways, and he was very ashamed that he'd become that you know belligerent, and went to the other orishas like, please help me, can you like get me together, because this, I can't go like this anymore because I'm scaring people. And then
Wow.
they worked to cleanse him of the drunken rage that clouded his spirit. And basically, the lesson is even the strongest warrior must guard against losing control,
Hmm,
for unchecked power can harm as much as it protects.
that's
So
amazing. That's such a good
basically,
one.
goes back to the whole, the episode
Yeah.
as well. How, so who knows? He had this experience and then he was like, ah, this Mila,
Bye
you're
bye. He said, "This Mila, this
cannot,
Mila, this is
this
like an
Mila,
African dad."
I cannot allow you to
No, no,
have
no,
this power.
no, no, no.
So
Because power without
yeah,
accountability is going to be a disaster. That's
yep,
the only result. You need, and leaders must be accountable. Leadership without accountability, leaders must be accountable to the people that they are serving, people that to their peers. You have to always be, and I love that Ogun was humble and he did that work, self-awareness, reflection, like to know that okay, I have a problem. Some people will just, you just be
continue
there,
destroying
you
everything.
just continue. So you need to have a level of self-awareness, not to be too, not to be too critical, but like if there's something, maybe you get some harsh feedback, just reflect on it, like okay, what could I have done better. Move on from there.
Yeah, I'm going to say Kinkies did that self reflection and was like,
He
you know what,
did.
I need to do better, and he did. He
Well
did.
done. Well done.
And
Surely.
oh, okay, you're still going. Okay.
Sorry. So sorry. Take. Take.
So yeah, the last is about Ogun and the sacred Iroko tree.
Mm.
So everybody knows Iroko. Well, not everybody knows, but the Iroko tree is a very revered tree in I know in Nigeria, but actually I don't. There's a lot of stories about the Iroko tree. I don't know if this it's probably just a Nigerian thing, to be honest. But anyway, one of the most revered stories tells of the sacred Iroko tree, which is ancient and immense, and said to be the dwelling of powerful spirits. A band of hunters driven by greed sought to cut it down, and Ogun was like, "This tree is sacred, we need to protect it." So he fought off
Yes.
the hunters, used his iron weapons, flashing in the sunlight, and he basically fought them off. But they kept returning, and at last Ogun said, he's a very sacrificial man. He transformed himself into the Iroko tree and merged his spirit with his ancient roots, and the hunters could no longer harm it. And the tree became a symbol of Ogun's internal guardianship. And even now, the Iroko tree is honored as a sacred protector and a reminder of Ogun's willingness to give of himself for the greater good. Yeah.
Amazing. These are
He's
such
a
good stories.
he's just a king. He's a king, you know. I mean, literally, but also, figuratively, he's a king. And yeah, he sticks to his principles and you know
Mm-hmm.
protects others, and yeah, sacrifices himself for the greater good.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, he's quite principled. He's quite principled and quite upright citizen, which is good. Leading by example is
Yep,
important. So I think
yep,
he does a lot of that.
yep, yep.
I think he does a lot of that.
So yeah, that is Ogun. And yeah, always just signpost. We have other episodes that cover some of the orishas that are mentioned in Lara Croft as well. If you want to learn more about them, so there's the Beiji mentioned. We talked about actually talking about Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Our first Sinners episode talks about the Beiji, uh, Taiwo and Kendi. So if you'd like to learn more about them, please go listen to that episode. We already mentioned that we talked about Yemoja. I think who
African
else?
members, African
African
mermaids.
mermaids,
Yeah.
and I thought that was Oshu.
No, African mermaids was the emoja. Oshun had her own standalone
Oh
episode.
yeah, yeah.
Oshun wasn't in this. Yeah,
No, she wasn't in this series.
yeah.
But yeah, Yemoja was. So if you want to learn more about her, then yeah, our African memories episode, and then there was another one that we've done that was in. I can't remember
Hmm.
now, but
I'm surprised he did not put. Although, yeah, he's one of the Orishas. I'm surprised he didn't put Shango at all.
yeah, he would have. Although maybe they thought that Omo, he's too powerful.
It's too much.
It's too much thunder.
They said they just thunder. They said they said let's just leave him
They
out.
said it would actually be a rap
Yeah.
if he was here. Because also, like, if I remember his countenance correctly, like he don't have time for nonsense.
Oh my
He don't
gosh.
have like, you just be like, what is going on here, guys? Like, mm,
He's the real. He seems to be the real warrior, to be honest. Because Ogun seems to be more of
it,
like a
it
pacifist in a
passes,
way. But Shango was
although,
like violence, violence always.
mhm,
He's always
like
choosing
again,
violence.
they wouldn't have been able to contain that man if he
Oh
was.
my gosh.
Mila would have had to fight and
Oh,
nail. So maybe that's why
facts.
they couldn't bring him in because this man is too powerful.
He said it's too
Man is too
much. This
powerful. Like
huh.
look at in the Greek mythology, Zeus also. This is God of Thunder as well.
Zeus, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So that one too. Whenever it comes into the story, it's like okay, it's a
Give
rap, guys.
over. Give over.
It's actually a rap.
Okay, I think we're going home. Okay, packing up. Packing
Oh,
up.
Zeus
That's
is
a
here.
wrap.
Oh,
Oh, he's
actually,
here.
sorry, I didn't know.
Okay. Thank
That's
you.
the same energy as Ogun. So maybe they just thought that let's just give them a chance.
Yeah.
Give me that a chance to just delude that she's more powerful. So
Facts.
yeah, but yeah, it would
Facts.
have been interesting. Also, I mean, I guess maybe because Yemoja and Osho are both like goddesses of water, so they thought maybe they probably should go in one. But yeah, Osho is quite popular, so I'm surprised that she wasn't there.
Included.
Yeah, but I guess maybe Yemoja as well as water, so they thought, yeah, that's kind of represented as well. Who else shows up? Now I can't remember. I know there's one other person that we talked about that shows up, but maybe I
Eshu,
think
of
about it.
course. Eshu,
Eshu.
of
I mean,
course.
oh yeah, obviously Eshu.
Esho.
Issue, obviously. That's like the
Yeah.
big one.
Our African Tricksters episodes. Check it out if you want to
Yeah,
learn
check
more about
out.
Eshu.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah, those are the main ones. They covered Eshu, they did Ibeji, they did Ogun, they did Yemoha. We've not done this Babaluaye. We've not done that.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
Yeah.
That's the only one that we
Cause
haven't.
I'd actually not heard about
Yeah,
that.
neither have I. Neither have I.
I was
So
almost like I was like, I've not heard about that Orisha. So
yeah,
yeah,
it'd be good to know more about him.
it'll be good. Yeah, it'll be good. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. You know what time it is. Sorry guys, I'm defaulting to a Cockney accent.
Um
It's not the right place for it, but I'm I think it adds something.
okay.
I think it adds I
This
think I'm
might
dehydrated.
be a
I think I'm
sign,
dehydrated.
yes, that we need to wrap this up
We
very
do need to
soon.
we gotta go.
So,
We gotta
yes.
go. All right.
I will. Do you have a proverb? Do I have a? I mean, I have one.
I have a proverb. I
Okay,
have
you
a
go. You
proverb.
go. You go.
Yes. Okay. So I've got two proverbs actually.
Ooh.
So the first one, I know, right? I know, right? I'm on it. The first one is from Somalia. If you can't resolve your problems in peace, you can't solve them with war.
Hmm.
Yep.
Snap, 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 snap.
Yep. 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 It's quite self explanatory there.
Yep.
The second one is from the Kikuyu tribe, Kenya, Tanzania. When two elephants fight, it is the
Ah.
grass that gets trampled.
Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yes. We're experiencing that now.
Yep.
Yeah. A war I'm not involved in. I'm suffering the consequences.
Of course.
Yeah. So, guys, we leave you with that. We leave you with that.
You know, this was actually quite a heavy one, a
It was
reflective
quite.
one.
It was quite heavy.
It
It
was
was
quite
quite heavy.
reflective, but I think it's yeah, it's important and it shows how much we can learn from these myths and legends and how relevant they are to everyday life and how they help us to even make sense of like the world and
Mm.
everything, It's quite it feels a bit I don't know about you guys, but it was a bit therapeutic, just yeah, talking through all of this. But yeah, maybe you felt it was a bunch of not very therapeutic stuff. Anyways, otherwise,
Maybe it
yeah,
stressed you out.
maybe it stressed you out, and if
We
it
just
did,
transferred our stress onto you, which is why we feel so much better. So,
maybe we're kind of trauma dumping on y'all, but
yes, maybe we are.
it, yeah.
You
But
know.
anyways, you know what to do. Like, share, follow, subscribe to Nobi Juju, the African Mythology Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Woohoo!